So here is the blooming flower, and you can see that the flower is right here and it's part of the square. So let's turn it over and you can see that it's worked right into the square itself. You can see it's got a hollow spot because it's sitting up on top of the square. So when you just peel it back here, you can see that it's really quite worked in. So the secret with these ones is that the starting color here is the same color as the outside here, but we're gonna have to change midway through. So when you're deciding your colors, just make sure that it really works out lovely if the center and the outside match each other, and then there's an accent color that is in between. So let's go back to the diagram. Let's show you how to read that, and then we're gonna continue from that point. So here's the diagram, and we're going to start off in the center, and we're gonna read this counterclockwise just like you see in a circle here, and we're gonna create a chain 8 ring, and then we're going to then crochet, single crochet all the way around. And so you really want to watch your color changing when you're going to do this particular concept, and you're going to notice that color changing is in the written pattern, but we're also going to get you to change as well throughout the pattern. So you're going to notice that there's one leaf here and then another set, one petal here and then another petal, but they sit on top of chain work that you have to establish in order to get it. So once you have this done, the hardest part of this particular square is just making sure that you get this next round, round number 7, to be balanced with each other, because essentially you have how many sides? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you have 6 petals that need to turn into a 4 square, and so you just really need to watch your counts as you're going around round number 7. It's not hard. It's just a matter of being able to follow. We're gonna do it nice and slowly on camera. So once you get that established, the rest of the rounds, so 8, 9, and 10 are essentially the same building up, and you're just worrying about what's in the corners in order to get it to go. So we're gonna head back down to the front. So if you need this diagram, see the video link and the more information, and you will have access to this pattern as well. So without further ado, let's grab our first color and let's continue. And just one more final thing is that in the pattern, in the instructions, motif 1 and 2 that are labeled, that in the diagram you can follow these set of instructions here if you would like to. It's on page number 2, and then the other motif that we're going to do later on in today's tutorial will be the other one that you can see here that you can follow as well. So let's now continue. So let's create a slip knot to begin, and let's get going. So what we have here, this is an intermediate level, so if you're a beginner in crochet you might struggle with this a little bit, but just take your time and let's try to work on it together. So we've got our slip knot on. We're gonna chain 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So once you have that done, you are just going to insert the hook into the beginning chain and just yarning over and pulling through and through, and there you have the center ring of your square. So we're now going to begin. We're gonna chain up 1, and in the center of the square we're going to put 18 single crochets. So let's count those out. So we have 1 single crochet, 2, 3, 4, this is 5, 6, this is 7, 8, and this is 9. So you're going to run out of space soon. So what you can do, because you're just going around the ring, just pull it and just shift it. So we had 9 done, and so you just made more space. So 9, so 10, 11, 12, 13, and this is 14, and I'm running out of space again, so just shift it. So it was 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So you have to slip stitch to the first one, but if you're unsure, just count backward from there. So just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So as an experienced crocheter I was able to tell that, but if you cannot, just count back to the 18th one and slip stitch, and that is the center just like you see. So let's move on then to round number 2. So let's continue to round number 2. We're gonna chain up 1 and we're gonna single crochet in the same one that you did the join with, and then you are going to then, so let's get it in there first, so single crochet, and then you're going to chain a total of 3. So 1, 2, and 3. You are going to skip the next 2 stitches and go to the third, and you're going to single crochet. and you're gonna do that all the way around. So chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, skip 2 stitches and go to the third. Please do that same concept going all the way around. So I'm coming up to the very end, so I'm just gonna chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to slip stitch it to the beginning one. So if you skip over 2, that's the final 2, and then you're slip stitching to the beginning, and that is where the story ends with this color of yarn. So at this point you should be able to pull it apart and you should see 6 of these gaps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I want you to fasten off this yarn, and it's easier if you deal with your yarn tails at a time now, like one individually instead of waiting to the end. So once you do this, here's how I'm gonna have you do it, is just throw it into a darning needle. It takes 2 seconds. Turn it to the back and just weave it through. Don't go through the, just go through the chain work that you just created, because you're gonna cover over top of that chain. Okay, so do you see that? It went into the chain. So just go 1, and when you pull it through, I don't want you to warp the project. So 1 and 2, and still staying in the chain is 3. Therefore you can just trim it right down and get rid of it, and therefore you have no tails. And if you have the starting one hanging out, and just weave that in if you haven't done so already, and then get rid of that, and therefore you can have a tail free project and still be able to maintain. So let's continue on then to round number 3. So continuing on, we want to create the next color, and this will be the accent color, and you're going to put it onto your hook first, and you can go to any one of these chain 3 spaces. So I'm just gonna start here just for the fun of it, and I'm going to slip stitch it so that it's just attached. And now I want to begin to chain 1. Sorry, what I want to do is that I want to single crochet into there. So I've just slip stitched it, and now I'm single crocheting it, so I'm not chain 1 first. Makes a difference. And now I want to do a total of a chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm building out the leaf or the petal, and then I want to then come back into the same space, and I want to double crochet 5 times. So let's just count those out together. So 1, keep that straggler down on top of the line, and therefore you can bury it in. So this is 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once you have your 5, you have to come back down to the very beginning down here. So you're gonna chain 3 first. So 1, 2, 3, and just move things out of the way if it's in the way, and just go back into that same space and single crochet. So I've now buried in that straggler enough. I'm gonna let it fall out, and I can trim that later. So you're gonna go to the next space. So here's how it's done again. So single crochet first, chain up 3 to build up, and do 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now I'm gonna chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and single crochet back down into that same space. And then I'm gonna jump and do that again. So I want to do that a total of 6 petals. So just move right over, single crochet, chain up 3, 5 double crochet, chain 3, and single crochet back into that gap, and then move along. So I'm just doing my last one. I'm single crocheting into the last gapping space, and before I'm done I want to slip stitch to the beginning single crochet that I had started with, and then that ties it all together. And then I'm going to take this yarn and now fasten off, and then use my darning needle to hide in my loose ends, and then move on and bring this other color back into play. So let's move along to round number 4. It's gonna be the same color as the beginning, and we're gonna bring that back, create a slip knot to start, insert in. So what you need to do is you need to separate where the 2 single crochets are. There's no chain space there at all, so you just gotta jam your hook in between them. Okay, so don't go into a stitch, just go right in between, and then just attach it with a slip stitch like this, and I want you to single crochet into that same space. So just kind of get this straggler. You're gonna have to use a darning needle to be able to hide that one in later, or you can just wait and then you're going to single crochet over top of the next line that comes around anyway, so it's up to you. So the next thing that you need to do is that we need to chain a total of 5. So last time it was chaining a 3, this time it's 5 because it's bigger. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and I want you to skip this next petal completely and just separate the next 2 single crochets and just flip the petal in front. In it, you can change it later anyway, but just flip it in front and then just go in the single crochet, so that chain is kind of resting in behind. So single crochet right in between. See that? That's what makes this lift, is that this chain work is kind of in behind the petal. So chain 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just move that petal forward if you want to and just single crochet in between the 2 single crochets and continue that all the way around. So I'll see you at the end of this round. So coming all the way back around, I've got my chain 5 and I'm just going to slip stitch to the first single crochet that I started with. And that ends that. So you see that it's kind of riding in behind the work. So let's move along and let's do the next round. So let's move along to the next round, round number 5. So remember that straggler I was talking about? So just keep it there and just put it on top of the line and it will be buried in, so you don't have to worry about that. So you're gonna slip stitch to the first chain 5 space. So just slip it and that moves you over. And now you're gonna chain 1 and I want you to single crochet into that same space. So this time instead of doing 5 double crochets, you're gonna do 7. So you're gonna chain up 3 first and then do 7 double crochets because the flower is bigger. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and now you're going to chain 3 to come back down. So 1, 2, 3 and single crochet finally into that space again. And then you're gonna move on to the next space. So that's a straggler I just went over top. I can just push it aside. So you're gonna go to the next chain 5 space, single crochet to begin, and then you're going to then chain up 3, and then you're gonna put 7 double crochets in, chain down 3, and then single crochet back into that same space and then move over to the next one. So please continue that all the way around and you'll see that these are gonna start layering over top of each other. So please do that and I'll see you at the end of this round. So I'm just finishing up the final petal, chain down 3 and single crochet into the final space, but make sure that you slip stitch it to the first single crochet to have it join because it'll look off if it's not. So you're gonna do that and then I want you to fasten off and weave in your ends, and this is what it looks like at this moment. So we're gonna get rid of this color and now we're going to do the background color, which is the remaining of the square. So please fasten this off and join me next, and I'm gonna bring back the diagram to show you what to do. So at this point in the tutorial what we have is that we are going to start this big chain work here, and this is going to be using the same color as the remaining of your block. So we're gonna do that, and then the hardest part is round number 7. See how that there's 7 here but it over crosses 1 single crochet here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 and then it goes on the single crochet and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So the hardest part of this is that when you hit it over here is that you will see that you'll have 1 on the one side of the single crochet. All of this here will be all filled in. See how there's no single crochet that blocked that, and then you're gonna go right after that and then continue. So we're gonna take our time doing that because that's the hardest part of this whole thing, but once you understand that, so I think let's start off with our chain work number 6 and then we're gonna take number 7 nice and slow. So let's begin using the background color. In my case it's more of a green, and we're going to start with a slip knot, and we're gonna do how we did it before when we were in between the petals. So we're gonna take this one here, the last petal, separate the 2 single crochets, and that's where you're going to join. Okay, so you join it with the slip stitch like that, and I want you to single crochet into that same spot. Now you can leave the straggler because you can bury it next time you go over top of the chain that you're about to create. So in this case what we want to do is that we want to chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then just come into the next space in between the next one. So just kind of have it rest behind this petal like you did before, and single crochet in between the 2 single crochets that exist. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, and 7, and then just come into the next one. Just kind of push it forward. You can always fix it after the fact, but you can only fix it once, so make sure that you try to put it in front. So please continue that same idea going all the way around. Do not fasten off at the end. When you're done this, you're going to just come back and you're going to slip stitch it to the first single crochet that you had done. You're going to notice that the flower wants to buckle, and that's because it's being built on the outside just like you see here. So don't worry about that. We want to continue to the hardest round, which is round number 6, and let's take our time and use this straggler here to be able to just kind of pinch it together with the chain work, and therefore you won't have to sew that in later. So let's move really slowly now, and you'll want to pay attention to this part of the tutorial the most. Let's begin round number 7. So I'm watching it on off camera here as well. So I want to slip stitch to the first chain 7 space, and I want to go and catch that straggler into position as well. So slip stitch it there, and now you're ready to go. I want you to chain 5. This counts as a double crochet and plus chain 2. So let's count 5. So 1, 2, 3, there's your double crochet. 4 and 5 is your chain 2 corner space. In the same space I want you to put 4 more double crochets in it. So just don't put it right beside it, just move it over a little bit. You can always shift it later as well and put in 4 double crochets. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Now that you have that, you're going to come into the next single crochet and you're going to double crochet into that one. So that's kind of like crossing over. So double crochet into that single crochet, and now move to the next chain 7 space, and I'm still bearing in this end but I can actually let it go now, is that I want to put 4 more double crochets into this new chain 7 space. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. You're now going to create the next corner. So this is the corner over here. We're going to create the next corner, so we're going to chain 2, and in this exact same space you're going to put another double crochet in. Now that I'm doing this the second time, it's not as hard as it was the first time I went through it. So now we're going to jump over to the next chain 7 space, and all of this here is gonna get a total of 7 double crochets in it. So let's just count those out. So just jump over and just do 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So you can see how it kind of all favors. This will all balance out at the end. So now you're just gonna go to the next chain 7 space and you're gonna put in 1 double crochet, and now we're gonna create the next corner. So the next corner is chain 2, and you're gonna come back into the same space a total of 4 more times. So right, see where this one is attached? That's the same space, and you're gonna double crochet 4 times. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and you're gonna come into this next single crochet, okay, and you're gonna double crochet into that one, and in the next chain 7 space you're gonna put 4 more double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. And now you're going to chain 2. This is another corner, and in the same space you want to put another double crochet in there. So you can see it's kind of buckling up. It will work out. You just got to be patient. And now you're going to skip to the next chain 7 space and you're going to put in 7 double crochets. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And technically you would have had to skip over and double crochet into the next chain 7 space, but it's already there. So you just want to slip stitch to the 3rd chain. So 1, 2, 3, slip stitch to the 3rd chain, and that is your round. So it looks like it's all buckled up and everything, but it's actually working just slightly in behind the other petals, and when you kind of flip it back you can see that it's working out really quite lovely. So the next 3 rounds are very easy rounds. The hard work is now done, and let's move on to rounds number 8, 9, and 10. To begin all rounds, all you just need to do, all the remaining, is that you're going to slip stitch the chain 2 space, and you're going to chain up 5, so it counts as a double crochet, chain 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And in the same space I want you to put in 2 more double crochets. So this is your corners. So the corners are made up of actually 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. So you're gonna finish the, when you come back around you'll put a double crochet back into this chain space in order to complete this particular corner. So now you're just going to put in 1 double crochet in each one of the double crochets. You're going to notice that this will start balancing out the pattern, and the strands will be able to move around on the chain 7s that you had in order to get it to sit properly. So you're just double crocheting yourself all the way until you get to the next chain 2 space. So obviously there's gonna be 4 of those because it's a 4-sided square. Now the next chain 2 spaces here. So you're going to double crochet first, do that 2 times, chain 2, and then double crochet 2 times. And then keep moving along. So don't forget to start right off in the first one and just double crochet in each one. Then in the corners do your 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and meet me at the end of this round. Okay, and you'll notice that it's gonna start sitting down nicely. So I'm coming up all the way around, and I want to make sure I'm getting every stitch just like you see. And now I have my chain 2 space that I started with. I'm going to double crochet there, and then I'm going to attach it to the 3rd chain up, and then that completes that round. So you see that it's not quite sitting down yet, but it will sit down after the next round, and then round number 9 and 10 are exactly identical. So you're just gonna shift over by slip stitching, chain up 5. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's your double crochet, chain 2, and you're gonna double crochet 2 more times into that same space. And then you're just gonna double crochet yourself all the way to the next corner, and then in the next corner here it's gonna be 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and you're gonna work your way all the way around. So please do that, and then see me at the end of this round once again, and we're gonna do 1 more round, and then that finishes off this square for this particular blanket. So I'm coming all the way back around once again, and I'm going to, don't forget to go into that last chain 2 space and then just attach to the 3rd one up. So this is gonna be the second last round. We're gonna move on to the final round now, and we're just gonna slip stitch to the chain 2 space. You're gonna chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then double crochet twice just like you already know, and then just keep on going across, and then in the next corner 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet, and go all the way around, and then that will complete this one here. And really at this point it should be sitting down on you as well, so you can see no added pressure in order to get it to sit. So let's continue on, and then I'll see you at the end of this round, and then we're gonna move on to doing the next square after this. So I'm coming all the way back around. This is the final time, and I get to start more. So there's gonna be a total number of these types of squares. So go into the final chain 2 space that you started with, and then slip stitch it to the 3rd one up, and then just weave in your ends and get rid of it. So you need a total of, what's it say, 20 motifs that look like this particular color combination. It could be any color combination that you decide, and then they're suggesting then another 12 of these types of motifs done in a color 2 option, so the petals are actually a different color. So once you get everything, just kind of just stretch things into position, and you'll see that everything will work out, and it's really quite lovely. So just weave in your ends at this point and get rid of those, and I'm going to move on to the next square that's in the design, and you can get this done. Just reverse this video if you want to do any more of these, if you don't already understand the pattern as is. So weave in your ends, and then you're good to go, and then let's move on to the second motif. that is in this afghan.